What if the very air you breathe could be manipulated? What if just beyond the horizon, a silent war was unfolding, using technology that blurs the line between friend and foe? Since mid-December 2024, the skies over the Baltic region have been plagued by mysterious disruptions in satellite navigation. Experts have swiftly linked these interruptions to Russia's Kaliningrad enclave, suggesting an unsettling connection to possible electronic warfare operations underway in this strategic coastal area. This rumor isn't baseless. Since 2022, the discussion around limiting transportation and information ties with Kaliningrad has gained traction amidst rising geopolitical tensions. Diplomatic pressures and attempts to restrict information flows have colored these conversations, leading many to suspect that such technical anomalies may not be mere coincidences. As the clouds of political tension gather, any deviation in technology is quickly scrutinized through a geopolitical lens. According to recent reports and studies, the issue is far more intricate than the simplistic notion of jamming signals. Advanced electronic warfare tools can indeed generate interference with navigation signals, employing methods known as spoofing. This meddling isn't limited to curated areas. Its impact can ripple across extensive regions, dictated by the setup strength and configuration. A navigation receiver requires signals from at least 3 satellites for positioning, and when valid signals dwindle, the accuracy of coordinates takes a nosedive. Investigative efforts, especially those employing networks of ground receivers alongside satellite monitoring, have localized some interference sources near the coast of Kaliningrad. Reports from open sources indicate that these emissions often originate from regions previously associated with Russian electronic units and antenna complexes. While these findings do not yet constitute a definitive verdict, they intensify suspicions that notable incidents are indeed linked to the activities of electronic systems in the area. The operational ramifications of such disruptions are not just academic. Transportation services have begun feeling the heat. Some flights were forced to pivot to alternative navigation methods, while maritime routes reported oddities in data from their automatic identification systems and navigational solutions. This situation escalates from a mere operational inconvenience to a profound safety threat, as losing accurate positioning heightens risks and complicates coordination along the narrow waterways of the Baltic Sea. But why is Russia a potential source of these anomalies? The landscape and the existence of specialized electronic units in Kaliningrad offer a technical advantage for generating radio frequency disruptions. This capability is perceived as a component of a hybrid strategy aimed at influencing critical infrastructure without traditional military strikes. Still, it's crucial to recognize that such military and political utilization carries the risk of escalation, prompting experts to advocate for caution in framing these discussions and requiring validation from independent monitoring networks and governmental bodies. The sheer volume of incidents raises questions. How far can the effects of such technologies reach? Limited power sources or geographically directed transmitters can create local and regional areas of reception deterioration. However, suppressing part of satellite signals indeed diminishes positioning accuracy over broad areas, as receivers lose access to quality signals. In summary, the infrastructure vulnerability of the Baltic region becomes all too evident. Key air and sea corridors lie perilously close to potential sources of radio interference. Isolationist policies surrounding the enclave could backfire, giving parties with significant electronic capabilities in Kaliningrad the leverage to pressure navigation and communication systems in the region. As tensions rise, it prompts a reassessment of dependencies and defenses. Future steps must include diversifying navigation solutions, boosting local assistive systems, and enhancing monitoring of global navigation satellite systems, GNSS. The uncertainty surrounding satellite navigation in the Baltic states persists. While official statements from these countries hint at Kaliningrad as the source of disruptions, such accusations appear overly simplistic. Theoretically, such systems could be deployed within Kaliningrad, but from a military standpoint, Russia may find it more practical to utilize other sites located further south, where influencing the desired airspace sector would yield higher effectiveness. Yet, completely dismissing the potential for operations emerging from the enclave remains a risk. This evolving landscape paints a complex picture. Nations exchange accusations, while the truth is often shrouded in obscurity. At onlookers' hearts, a fundamental question arises: is NATO prepared to confront not just the immediate challenges posed by Russia but also the surge of technological prowess emanating from an increasingly assertive global theater? As tensions unfold across the Baltic region, the fragility of its navigation infrastructure has come into sharp focus. Recent reports indicate localized disruptions to vital satellite navigation systems. These disruptions don't create a complete blackout across Europe. However, they signal a worrisome reality: localized and geographically directed signal jammers can significantly degrade reception quality, causing an alarming decrease in positioning accuracy. In this climate, the strategic vulnerabilities of the Baltic's crucial air and maritime routes are glaringly evident. Each corridor runs perilously close to potential electronic warfare capabilities, heightening the risk for aircraft and vessels alike. The situation evokes a chilling sensation. Have we prepared enough to guard against interruptions that could easily escalate into miscommunications and disasters? Never underestimate the impact of geography. The location of Kaliningrad offers parties with advanced electronic warfare capabilities an unsettling advantage. Rather than isolating the enclave, this isolation may backfire, allowing it to manipulate communication channels critical to the region's stability. Action is needed now. Swift diversification of navigation solutions and enhanced local support systems should be prioritized, alongside rigorous monitoring networks. Yet, as the Baltic nations make official claims regarding the source of these disruptions in Kaliningrad, such accusations may oversimplify a complex situation. While it is theoretically possible for systems to be deployed from Kaliningrad, a military strategist might argue the need for more effective platforms to the south, where their reach would have a more impactful effect on targeted airspace sectors. Isn't it unsettling to think about what lies hidden beneath the surface, beyond the stark accusations exchanged? With discussions of technological prowess at the forefront, the irony is palpable. The same nations that perceive themselves as the technological vanguards are now questioning their standing as significant breakthroughs in electronic warfare come to light. How has the pendulum so drastically swung? The stakes are particularly high. Were our previous beliefs about technological superiority more delusions than truths? Just as the winds howl across the dark waters of the Baltic, the real question lingers: how effectively can we operate when every signal may be disrupted, and each navigational tool could be compromised? The uncertainty weighs heavily in the air, setting the stage for an unpredictable and tense showdown that could redefine the power balance in the region. Will those prepared to confront this looming reality rise to the challenge? Or will complacency lead to a battle brave but naive? In recent years, the balance of power on the global stage has begun to shift dramatically. A few countries, notably the United States and Russia, have long been seen as the only true manufacturers of superior weaponry. However, every encounter involving their technology has revealed crucial insights. For arms importers, observing how these systems perform in real combat scenarios becomes pivotal. This scrutiny has the potential to redefine the landscape of military alliances. In the past, Washington could rely on a steady flow of orders from allies. But recent developments have left that certainty in jeopardy. Many countries that invested heavily in American arms have discovered an unsettling truth: the effectiveness of the systems they purchased is not as robust as advertised. This raises serious concerns. Could a shift in confidence lead to a decline in contracts, pushing these nations to explore alternative options, even those offered by Russia? This evolving situation challenges the long-held American assumptions of technological superiority. It highlights a critical aspect: not just the specs on paper, but the real-world combat resilience of these systems against countermeasures. This creates unforeseen opportunities for Russia in the realm of military technical cooperation, strengthening its stance in the international arms market. As the international arena becomes more complex, a haunting question lingers: can traditional powers maintain their edge, or will emerging players alter the landscape irreversibly? With increasing scrutiny and shifting allegiances, The race for military dominance is far from over. In the previous section, we examined how suspicions surrounding disturbances in satellite navigation systems could be traced to various geopolitical tensions, particularly focusing on the region of Kaliningrad. Despite these claims, it seems the truth could be more complex, particularly for military strategies. Yet, to dismiss the potential operations originating from within that enclave would be a mistake. A fascinating narrative unfolds as both sides trade accusations, while the actual circumstances remain shrouded in debate. What stands out is not merely the geographical nuances but the striking capabilities of electronic warfare at play. To the West's surprise, Russian electronic countermeasures have shown prowess that surpasses many NATO models. For years, the American military machine presented itself as the pinnacle of advanced technology, a claim believed not just by the United States but also by its allies. However, recent years have revealed a startling truth: nations, including Russia, have not only caught up but in some aspects, have outpaced Washington. Take, for instance, the so-called smart munitions reliant on satellite navigation. Reports suggest their effectiveness drastically declines when exposed to Russian electronic warfare systems, plummeting from an impressive 70% accuracy in ideal conditions to a near 6% under active interference. Such results have sparked serious concerns within the Pentagon, challenging the reliability of precision weaponry in regions where the Russian military operates. Moreover, a growing awareness of the strategic gap is emerging. Analysts and military experts within the United States increasingly recognize that the divide between necessary advancements and the current state of affairs is widening. A retired U.S. Army lieutenant general voiced this alarming reality, stressing that the nation is losing ground in critical areas of military science. A pressing question now looms over the United States: can they maintain their status as a technological leader, or are they gradually yielding ground to nations that are already showcasing their capability to influence the strategic balance of power? As we delve deeper into this unfolding conflict, the implications of these advancements and rivalries will become clearer. Yet, with each revelation, one must wonder, how prepared is the West for an evolving battlefield where technology might redefine the rules of engagement? In recent events, there has been a significant alteration in global power dynamics. Once regarded as the sole leaders in advanced weaponry, the United States and Russia now find their dominance challenged. Every clash involving their technologies reveals unexpected truths. For nations seeking to procure arms, performance in real combat has become a deciding factor. This scrutiny could reshape future military alliances in profound ways. In earlier times, Washington enjoyed a consistent influx of orders from its partners. Yet, recent occurrences have cast doubt on this certainty. Several countries that have heavily invested in American military equipment are now grappling with a disconcerting reality: the effectiveness of the systems they acquired is not as reliable as promoted. This leads to an unsettling thought: is a shift in confidence brewing, compelling these nations to reconsider their loyalties and entertain alternatives, perhaps even those from Russia? This evolving narrative disrupts long-standing assumptions of American technological superiority. It underscores a critical truth: beyond the impressive specifications on paper lies the essential capability of these systems in real-world engagements, especially when confronted with countermeasures. This scenario opens pathways for Russia to expand its military technical collaborations, enhancing its influence within the global arms market. As complexity grows in international relations, an unsettling question emerges: can traditional powers maintain their dominance, or will emerging players irreversibly transform the landscape? With heightened scrutiny and evolving allegiances, the quest for military supremacy presses on, marking the beginning of a new chapter in global power struggles. Could Russia secretly be altering the strategies underpinning its military tactics? What unseen elements could shift alliances overnight? As the storm of uncertainty looms, the battlefield becomes a chessboard where every move can tip the scale of power. The potent responses of Russian electronic warfare systems, which can substantially undermine precision weaponry, have not only caught the attention of military analysts but have also caused disquiet among arms-importing nations. The revelations from every confrontation with modernized Russian systems create ripples of doubt about the reliability of American technologies in real combat scenarios. Will this realization spark a new era of arms reliance for previously steadfast allies? As tensions rise, the realities of warfare fundamentally shift. This moment is a cauldron of possibilities, where the lingering specter of doubt can either forge new alliances or fracture existing ones. And what remains unspoken might be the most dangerous secret of all: how will allies navigate the murky waters of trust amidst this unsettling revelation? Fateful choices await, and the countdown towards the next strategic encounter has begun.